Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a bit more Stationeers. We're actually looking at the Rocketeer update today, and we did something a little bit different. I already actually started a new playthrough. It adds all sorts of, I might just pause just really quickly to just give you a quick debrief. You can check it out. The stream should be archived on my channel just fine. But ultimately, they've made a lot of changes. You can send rockets now out and use programming to tell them to go harvest asteroids for gear and all that sort of stuff. So it's very cool. It doesn't necessarily affect us directly for that content, while there's been some other things added in as well. But one of the big fundamental changes is that they changed the temperature for Venus to be a constant 400 and whatever degrees it is. But there's no cooling at nighttime. They had that in before. And that actually wouldn't affect old saves. So if we wanted to continue our Venus run in the spirit of the current build, we kind of had to start again. So I streamed the first couple of hours while we sort of tried to get the base back up to speed. And it was a pretty hectic watch. You should go and check it out. Because running around with your tank heating up just non-stop and never really having any sort of cooling period has been a very good challenge. We blew out a few circuits. We got there in the end. I would say we're relatively stable now. I've just extended the base, and that seemed to me like a good sort of time to pick up. So if you have a look, I mean, I guess my O2 is a little bit low here. I might actually just refill it there.
Air tank critical.
I haven't really checked the status of like how much air we actually have in this. Can I get an idea of the pressure in the kilomole? Okay, well, so I don't think we're going to run out of that anytime soon. And we haven't tapped the water, though we still have a couple of water bottles going. Though we do need to do that. And this I've improvised to dump my air tank in. I think it did actually get dirtied at one point, so we've got a little bit of X and N2 in there, and it's at 3 MPa, which is fine. We can handle it for the moment. So that was one of the tougher things is because we're heating up and we have to do a lot of work outside in the heat. Oh, I thought do we have a storm going on at the moment? It looks like we've got another storm. Wow, we already had one. It actually goes through our tanks really, really fast, and I kind of want to capture it as well. Again, if we check on that, how much mole of like O2 have we got there? 600. Like, so there's significant amount of oxygen that we would lose if we just vented it. So I've been recapturing it and trying to, well, not trying to cool it, but that will be the next plan. You can see that we're about 80 degrees Celsius, and that's what it's holding at given the actual amount that's in there on the surface area for heat exchange, because we've got a vacuum room in here. As far as our power goes, hang on, let's swap that out. We've been running mostly on coal power, to be perfectly honest. We also had a short, and I have no idea what caused it. We had a blowout, and it was on the power inside. So we're actually pretty set up. We're pretty happy. We've moved everything in ahead of the storm, so we're sort of over that early game hump. And now we're at that point. We're kind of sort of back on task with what we need to do. I found actually rushing to a bloody passive vent to be the most crucial thing. That's why we don't actually have an electronics printer yet. We only have a hydraulic pipe bender. Because if you reference here, this was my capture network, and I was just trying to add more and more surface area as we captured gas for our airlock exchange. Because it was always at that pressure, which is quite high, but it was always at that very high temperature as well, which was putting even more strain on, if you think about your ideal gas law, right? It was because the night, which would have been like half the time, was like a quarter of the temperature or something. It went down from 400 to 100. So all of a sudden, our airlock drain mechanism was a ticking time bomb. So that's now venting. So just to give you an idea where we are. And out there, I've been setting up a propellant system as well to basically work off of the sort of the ambient atmosphere, right? And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with where we are. We'll turn that off because, yeah, I've become very paranoid about what exactly caused the surge because we blew out a bunch of cable, and I have no idea what it was. I feel like maybe I had too many things idle on the network calling for power, and then when I turned on a coal generator, it just sent too much power down the line and blew out the cable. So what do we do now? Well, we've got a couple of things that we need to do. One, I want a better power system, right? While this is charging, which is interesting, I mean, I wonder why it's charging so well. We don't have anything out there other than a solar panel. It's very strange, actually. It's almost like the storm's generating more sun. We've just got a rudimentary solar panel out there, so it's nothing too high tech. Oh, having said that, oh, it's stopped now. So there you go. There you go. So yeah, we need to get on top of power, which means we need an electronics printer. We also need to think about what we're going to do about this system. And the best answer would be pre-steel, which is where we are. And I don't even know how we're going to deal with steel on this bloody planet, because that's going to be a nightmare. Is increasing as much surface area for heat exchange with the what do you call it? Radio. People had a term for it, but it's like radioisotope. It's like sort of vacuum cooling is what I call it. Yeah, so that's the plan. At the moment, I think we're going to stick with electronics printer. So let's just take stock of our supplies. Electronics. So we're going to need, what, 6 copper and 16 iron? Copper, not a problem. Iron, it's still fairly abundant out there. I really can't go mining in this situation. This is kind of not stressing me out. I'm watching my life support go down and all that sort of thing. So at the moment, this is just terrible timing. We kind of just got to wait for that to bait, basically. And then, but that's all right. This actually gives us a good opportunity to have a bit of a chat. So that's the plan. We're going to go out there and we're going to smelt some copper and we're going to smelt some iron so we can get an electronics printer going. And from there, we can start building wind turbines. We can start building solar panels, that sort of thing. So we just sort of got to wait for the moment. I also want to build potentially more piping for this. Now, I don't see the harm in keeping it in this room, to be perfectly honest. The more surface area, the better. We also probably need atmospherics to filter the gases if we can help it. And that needs to be contained as well. This is all going to be slapdash as anything. I'm not against it. You can see we've got a back pressure regulator on this as well, so I don't blow myself up again like last time. All right, so atmospherics. Atmospherics. Not cheap, right? A lot of copper. Sort of still tech level 1, you know? Standard kind of fare. So if we can do that to start sorting this out, we might be able to come up with some sort of pseudo coolant situation. This storm, though, come on, man. How about that for timing? You're killing me. Anyway, so do I have any spare pipe? I mean, actually, truly, we can deconstruct a lot of this, right? Because, well, because we're not using it now. We needed all the extra surface area, but not so much now. Is there going to be any issue with me disconnecting this and then reconnecting it as a cleaner pipe setup? I don't think so. Alright. Oh, I'm not sure. I think the vent is there at the top. You know what? That'll do for the time being. Can't tell if the storm's starting to abate or what's going on there. Anyway. Let's, I suppose this makes the most sense, right? I mean, not doing anything with the ceiling. Like, at this point, it would be almost a waste not to. It's the best we can really hope for. So I might actually start building a shitload of pipe. Yeah. Has been cooling quite quick. Now, the other thing, we sort of tested on the moon as well, but like, even though this is reading nil, I kind of suspect in my heart of hearts that generating flow can create better. Like, if for example, we leave this vent on permanently, so it's always sort of, I don't know, if there is some level of vacuum it can go to beyond reading on the iPad, that maybe that works out better. Okay, hang on. I'm not 100% sure, you know, how much of this is sort of just suspicion. And, I don't know. But, okay, so, to plan our trip, we are going outside. We need more iron, we need to smelt iron, we need to smelt copper. That's our trip, so let's go. We also need to put coal in. Which, hang on. Split half. 13 will probably do the job. Oh, we've got coolant problems too, hang on. Not coolant, sorry, jetpack. Oh, 3000's good. We can turn that off. Let's smelt while we're here. Now, iron. Lucky I can see the smelting going on. Here we go. We'll do that whole stack. Look, you know what? It might be wasteful for this coal, I'm not sure, but we'll chuck that in. Hopefully we can get the batteries inside charged full. I'd love to go in there and swap our battery to make the most of it, just in case, but... might as well cook this whole stack, not mess around. Meanwhile, our waste tank's going up. Oh, out we go. Life support's about to hit 20%. Is that the next warning? It might be 10%. But yeah, so just that one change to the heat has been enough to significantly affect our playthrough. Yeah, look at that. It's overkill. Hopefully we can drain a little bit out of... Ah, bugger. Oh well. Oh well. Now where was I? Electronics printer. It's going to put a bit of strain on the network, but that's okay. It's good to have our life support at 100%, you know, just in case. We're going to need to tap the water as well. We're also going to need to do steel. Steel's a tough one, right? Because we can't do any of the ice shortcuts. I guess we're going to just have to recapture and filter all our gases. We're going to need a pretty robust atmospherics setup. I haven't really thought that far ahead, though. Like, how's that going to manifest? Not 100% sure. Also, some more pipes are going to be helpful for this. $78. It's sort of steadied out at around that 80 mark. So getting it to go any further has been a bit of a thing, bit of a stretch. It's a shame I put all the iron in here, otherwise I'd be cooking up some more pipe as well. Well, this has worked out well as a sort of catch-up debrief sort of episode. Probably got to get the satellite system set up as well. I mean, we're not really running out of these, out of O2 and water anytime soon, but still, it's things to do. There is a chance that I do some more streaming of this as well to get through. I hear people's concerns that I do, and I talked about it on the stream, that I have started a lot of series over and I do the first couple of, 10 episodes or whatever, and then we have to start again. But this is a function of the fact that I'm not a Stationeers channel. Right, I'm an indie showcase channel, and I kind of have a bit of a fondness for Stationeers, right? You mix that with the early access state of Stationeers, being that the devs are wants to change the game and like radically in such a way that like restarting is to your benefit. It's kind of a bit of a recipe for a difficult scenario for me to really get deep progress outside of maybe just being a professional bloody Stationeers channel, which I can't do. Sorry guys, you hardcore handful that love this game as well, but you just don't bankroll me hard enough. But hang on, so that's right. I was looking at an atmospherics kit. Maybe we just build one now, just to see what it's all about. But I think for the most part, the rest of you are sympathetic and understand. I'm doing my best to support this game, and and that is the whole point of this channel first and foremost, is to raise awareness of games that I think deserve it. If you don't see me complete a base all the way through, hey, look, I'd love to do it as well, but some things just aren't destined to be, Okay, so atmospherics. Air conditioner, not really what we're looking for. Filtration, and an electrolyzer. H2 combustor. All right. The air conditioner doesn't help us, not until we got coolant to use in it anyway. But filtration, absolutely. And you can filter out, two different gases, basically. So say we custom built a rig for this, and there are 4 gases in there. I'm trying to think, what's the minimum, how many filtration machines can you do it with, right? Do you just split and split again? What's that? 3? Oh. Otherwise, you could do it in sequence, I guess. 1, 2, 3. That'd be the same. I don't think you could do it with less than 3 machines, right? Surely. And then I get confused on what's waste and what's not. Okay, so oh my goodness, getting like an actual sequential setup of this will be tricky. You know what I mean? Like, how would you build this in an industrialized manner in one sort of row? I guess it depends on which is the drain line and which is the through line. That's the one thing. I mean, my best guess is that the main would be the in and out opposite ones. All right. Yeah, and then we got power cable down here as well. Okay, so to me, the smartest move would be something like this, and then we put a base plate on the other side, like a tank connector, as they call it. Let's look into this. Tank connector. All right. Right, filtration goes something like that. And it doesn't really line up that well, does it? But can't really have it clipping through the wall. So we did something like this. Like something sort of like that. And then filtration like that. That's a neat and tidy sort of way to do it. Right? We just have to run the pipe. I mean, I guess I could just run it over the ceiling, right? Down into there. Potentially have that connect to there and run through. And the hope is that that will filter out one gas. Fingers crossed. Okay. I mean, who knows until we do it, right? So I guess that's what we do. All right, well, we've got a few things to build then. Definitely got a lot of pipe. So we'll get on that. Now, the way that the machine is designed, it looks like it wants to be laid out the way that I've done it. But who knows? I might have it totally wrong. Because I get the two waistlines confused. I get confused which one is the... Like, say, all right, we've got 4 gases in the line, and we're siphoning off some from the... On the first filter, right? Which of those exits does it go out? Not really clear to me. All right. Might be easy to build around this way. Now, I wonder what the surface area of the tank, the cooling of that tank would probably be better, right? I mean, it's really hard to say. Is it better off putting it in a tank in for vacuum cooling exchange, or is it better off keeping the gas in these long sort of pipe sections? That's not really clear to me either. What's that? 1, 2, maybe 3. Round it to 4. Add some change. Maybe 5, 6. Let's go 6 to be safe. Oh, man. Yeah, I think this was the move to bring it all back up to speed. To try and get our colony up to a similar place to the previous one. All right. All right. Now it should only be O2 and CO2, but I had to bite the bullet and contaminate and suck in ambient stuff at some point as well. Not a huge amount of CO2 either. Might try and... Well, actually, it also occurs to me that we could get ourselves into trouble here. Because when it pumps through, it's an incredibly aggressive pump. It'll pump as much literage as it can get away with, right? So, before I hook it up and press the button, I'm going to need to put a pass-through tank on it as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, okay, so say I said, all right, just filter out the CO2, which is only 15 mole there, and I have a tiny little bit of like maybe one piece of pipe there. It'll put the other hundreds of mole of O2 into that tiny pipe, just jamming it through the pipe system, and we'll probably blow it up. We'll definitely blow it up. So, tank. We're going through that iron, but that's okay. Since it is just sort of a temporary connection, I suppose you could say. That should just work, shouldn't it? We'll put it like that. Yeah. So we'll put 2 tanks on there. We'll put like maybe like a CO2 filter on that. We'll connect the power up down here. Put the tanks on. And then we'll rock and roll. We'll give that a go. And we'll see how we go. So my hope is that 16 mole of CO2 that we stick into that tank will kind of super cool, is what I'm sort of hoping for before we start experimenting with having a fan force situation, because this place is at vacuum, but we need more power. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure the surface area exchange of these large tanks is significant as opposed to the pipes. The pipes are cool and they help, but I truly think that the tanks will heat exchange infinitely more, which, you know, I'm looking forward to trying out. Anyway, thanks again for joining me, team. Might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.